had a great weekend. We won a big ball game. We beat Auburn. Then we beat Ole Miss here at home. We had the home celebration we were hoping to have when Alabama showed up. So Georgia comes in kind of a milepost in the season. They're 6-1. Probably you would have took that. Talking to you in June, and I told you you'd be 6-1, and you lost to Alabama, and that's the only loss. You would probably feel like, well, that sounds pretty familiar. I guess I'll take it. So you're in pretty good shape considering certainly how bad it could have been. And we still don't know from week to week what kind of team is actually going to show up, but we have had almost a certainty that at some point they'll come and they'll do what they have to do. That's one thing this team has demonstrated, is that they have resilience and they're not going to quit. Maybe they learned something from the Notre Dame debacle, the playoffs last year. Maybe some bit of wisdom was attained collectively from the team. But we'll talk about Georgia. Take a look at what they're looking at, and they've had an interesting season, and they've got quite a bit of football yet to play. So many stories are going to play in this Georgia season. I mean, a game nobody really thought about probably too much. Georgia Tech could be the big game. What if Tech stays in the one-loss area, wins the ACC? They have a very good chance to make the playoffs. We'll talk about Georgia Tech a little bit, too, and look at their schedule. In fact, let's do that right now. Let's see what their schedule is. And the Tech story has a Georgia connection.
Oh, no!
We'll talk about that at some point. I've talked about it before. But there's a Georgia contribution to the Tech coaching situation. All right, so Georgia Tech, a noon kickoff with Syracuse, NC State, Boston College, Pittsburgh, and then Georgia. So from a Tech perspective, you do worry about Syracuse because they can be a good football team. That might be the game that they really have to watch. And then Boston College should be a breeze, and Pittsburgh could be trouble, and then there's that Georgia game. So what Tech needs to do to make the playoffs is to stay undefeated until the Georgia game. And if that goes against them, but it's close, they'll still get in. Very good story there with Georgia Tech. It's good to see them come back and be a real force. Even though it's not good, it is good. It's good to see Georgia have Georgia Tech as a real competitor. I think it keeps them sharp. But by the same token, still Georgia Tech. For some reason, I have a hard time not liking this Tech team. I know I won't like them much on the 28th when we play them. Absolutely not. But I kind of been pulling for them all year, and I think I still will. I mean, why not? Why not have the Tech game become a big plum on your accomplishment? Something, a feather in your cap instead of a pain in the neck to have to play. That's what they were before, was a nuisance.
Ew.
I mean, just a nuisance.
Ew.
The game that had to be gotten through before we go play the SEC championship game. That was when Georgia was thinking like a champion. Is this Georgia team championship metal caliber? Certainly it has some traits that a championship team has to have. It has the ability to do anything on the football field that needs to be done. It's demonstrated that. It even got past pressure in the fourth quarter. Maybe not decisive enough to get sacks, but making that quarterback go just a little faster changed the whole dynamic, and nothing worked. So maybe if Georgia gets this defense tuned up, they could be a championship team again if their defense was strong and their offense was a little more dependable, a little more consistent,
Ding, ding, ding.
and a lot less streaky. This offense needs to do what it did against Ole Miss every game.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's what we're looking for. Consistency in excellence. The Georgia story is Georgia's story. They're in good shape, and the reason I mentioned the story, Georgia's story, is because we do fit into the national landscape. There are, 4 major coaching vacancies, 7, different sizes all over college football. There's 7 known vacancies, but 2 are what you would call elite openings. If you want to call Florida an elite opening, that's a blue blood of sorts, and Penn State. So certainly those are prime jobs. They'll pay top salary and expect top results. Florida's trying to get well in a hurry. Florida's like the old matron who's going for a facelift and wants to be 20 again. She thinks a surgeon can do that. Just one little coaching hire and we're right back to Urban Meyer days. That's what Florida's thinking, what their fans are thinking, I'm sure. Or maybe they just don't even expect anything. But they need something to hope for. Because Florida has fallen into the territory of the Kentuckys and the Mississippi States, the dregs of the conference. We're going to play them next. I don't want that to get out. But we can lose that game. Florida hasn't been a train wreck quite as bad as Tennessee got, but they haven't accomplished anything for their fans in a while. So the Florida fan certainly is hungry. And yes, he'll take that operation. And maybe it'll work and the fountain of youth will return and Florida will become dynamic again just because a different name is on the desk that says head coach. They're thinking Lane Kiffin is going to come in and save the day. He could. I don't like to talk about coaching talk because you don't know anything. You can speculate. We can have a little fun speculating. My speculations are probably no better than yours. And yours are no better than mine. Because we don't know anything. Personally, I think Kiffin will stay. He'll probably get another raise. And it wouldn't surprise me, it would not surprise me if James Franklin did come to Florida.
Ding, ding, ding.
And it wouldn't surprise me if it worked.